Okay. Anyways, let's focus. Let's get back to this topic. Guys, it's so hard for me to always stay on topic because I am enjoying making these videos so much. Like, I cannot even explain to you how much fun it is to talk about content creation. I can't explain it. I can't explain it. But today we're talking about reacting to your wedding disasters, mishaps, things that have happened, gone wrong before you even get to the wedding. But today, like I said, we're talking about mine. And this happened. Welcome back to another fabulous episode with your wedding content creator. And yes, we have a special guest today because my microphone is looking a little different. It's popcorn. So we have my little popcorn pin as a special guest with us today, and I'm sure she is loving it. You may want to grab your popcorn too, or like some tea or something, because I am reacting to your disaster wedding mishaps, things that have gone wrong before we even get to the wedding itself. Oh my goodness, you guys, this time we're talking about my own wedding. So if you watched the last episode, I told you about how like I had my own wedding disaster that had to do with the date before we even got to the wedding itself. So before we even got to the wedding, this happened, and it was awful, and it was really, really horrific. I actually would like to have your advice on like what you would have done, and I am going to tell you what we did, but I don't know if it was the best solution in the world. I think it was a solution that like we had to have because like it's our wedding day, and so the show goes on. In this case, our wedding. So my husband back then, my fiance and I, on the day that I had my surprise proposal, I was like, oh my gosh, it was so beautiful, and we do have to sit down for a story time for that at some point, but like, listen, guys, there was so many story times. If you like story time like I do, and especially like when you're cozying up, like when you're doing like your nighttime routine and stuff, and you get ready for bed and everything, it's like I like to like sometimes like hang out with my favorite YouTuber and like put on like a story time, and it's kind of fun like while I get ready, you know. So if you like these, let me know so that I can keep doing them, because I enjoy story times as well. I like telling stories and I like hearing stories, and like if you have a story, I want to hear about your story. You can even ask my advice on like what I would do. Should we have that as like another like playlist category, like what would your wedding content creator do, like advice column for me, your wedding content creator? Oh my gosh, that would be really cool. Okay, anyways, let's focus. Let's get back to this topic. Guys, it's so hard for me to always stay on topic because I am enjoying making these videos so much. Like, I cannot even explain to you how much fun it is to talk about content creation. I can't explain it. I can't explain it. But today we're talking about reacting to your wedding disasters, mishaps, things that have happened, gone wrong before you even get to the wedding. But today, like I said, we're talking about mine. And this happened. At the time, my fiance had a surprise proposal for me. I was so excited. I was over the moon. I couldn't stop smiling. I was also crying. There was a lot of tears, okay? And he already had a date in mind. He was so excited. He already had a date in mind, and it's on his birthday. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love this date. It's perfect. Like, let's do it, right? This is where things kind of get crazy. We were excited about the date, right? But we did not think that we needed anybody else's opinion or input about the date. Like, why would we? It's our wedding day, and like, either you can make it or you can't make it. Like, you can attend or you can't attend, right? Like, there's no like, oh, I can't believe they put it on this day because of something you had going on, right? So that did happen to us, and sadly it was from somebody who we like, they're a very important person in our life. At the time, it was a pastor at a church that we were attending for years, okay? Years before we moved out to the opposite coast. And so we just were like, we told them about the engagement, obviously, and we let them know what date when they asked, like, oh, like what day did you guys already choose a day? And we were like, yes, to him and his wife. And the pastor looks at us and says, well, nobody asked me. What? What do you mean nobody asked you? So we are like shocked, you know, we're in like complete shock. And he continues to talk from there because, you know, like we are just quiet, we don't know what to say. Like this is like super awkward. Like this is supposed to be like a fun, happy occasion. And I mean, it still was. It was beautiful. It's a gorgeous garden wedding. Absolutely beautiful. I'm sure you guys have seen some of the behind the scenes from the wedding day with like my shorts. I even like created like a long form video that I edited myself. Beautiful, gorgeous. And so yeah, so we were just like basking in awesomeness. We couldn't believe that he had this reaction to our wedding date. Like, it's not your wedding date, it's our wedding date. And he said nobody asked him, and he went on to say, after he paused, me and, you know, his wife's name, we are going to be going like on our yearly trip away. Well, first of all, they do this trip more than just once a year. They take this like week or two off where they leave, and that's fine. It's for them to like recharge, regroup. Like, I get it, like ministry is a lot, and like it's good that people can afford to take a week or two off and like go and like relax, right? So I don't fault them for that. I don't fault them for that. But to tell us that they already had that planned and that they couldn't, well, he didn't even say they couldn't. He just said they're not going to be changing it and that they won't be attending the wedding. And we were just like, okay. Then he went on to say, so obviously, like, I won't be marrying you. And my fiance and I, we kindly let him know that, like, he wasn't the person that we wanted to marry us. Hey, I know, what a way to find out, right? But we already had two other people in mind. We did have two officiants, one male and one female. And they are very, very close to us. Very, very, very close to us. And they attend, I heard something so anyways, they attend that church that we were going to, and they were like our mentors. And so they also ended up being our marriage counselors. And we just love them. We were just very close to them. We didn't have the same relationship with our pastor. Like, yes, we were close to him, but it was like a different way. Totally different way. And so we were just really happy. We were really, really happy to have the two people that we had already chosen, and they already knew. We had already asked them. So, like, for him to like throw that out, it was like, this is really, really awkward right now. Because we were letting them know the wedding date, obviously, because like they're our pastors, and like we were in ministry there during that time before we had moved, and we've been in ministry there for a very, very long time. And so, as volunteers, mind you, and so, but we were full-time volunteers. We weren't the like once a month volunteer. No. We were full-time volunteers. We did this ministry every single week and several times a week. So his reaction was just like super weird, and that was the only way we knew how to handle it, was like just being honest that like we didn't think that we needed his permission for our wedding day. And we told him that. Like, we did not know we needed it. And like we told him as kindly and as gentle, because that's the kind of people that we are. But I think that people who aren't as kind and gentle as we are would have been like, well, who do you think you are? Like, you know, like that's really, really rude to think that like this is about you. This is like not about you, you know? So yeah, so that was really difficult. I know like people put a lot of emphasis on like the venue, and if the venue has your date, but I don't think people put like that same emphasis if like for like their officiant, if that makes sense. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure some people do, and like we would have been super brokenhearted if our two officiants were like not available or didn't want to do it or whatever. Like, it would have been really hard on us, and we would have figured it out. But I don't think that like it has the same, I don't know, you guys, like, I don't know, like, thankfully we did not have to go through that rabbit trail of like, well, what if they can't do it, and then having to get someone else to do it. Like, thankfully we did not have to go through that. It like all worked out. It was beautiful, it was gorgeous. But do you think that we handled it the way that you would have handled it? I'm just curious. I know that like my wedding day's already passed, but like somebody else may be dealing with like a tragedy like this, where it's like you tell someone your wedding day and they're like, oh, well, nobody asked me, and like I have something to do that day, or I'm out of town, like I'm not coming to your wedding, and like I won't be a part of it. And it's like, okay, like I'm sad to hear that for you, but at the end of the day, it's about the bride and groom, and we have to keep it about the bride and groom because they are the ones getting married, and it's their special day, and everybody wants to make it all about them, which is like not fair, right? So like, what would you do in that scenario? I am just super, super, super curious. You know, would you have like picked a different date? Maybe would you have like changed your date based on the person that you wanted? Like, say if like you, say if like that was the officiant that you really, really wanted, right? And then they had told you, well, nobody asked me, and like I'm not gonna be here, and so they wanted you to change the date. Like, that's what happened. Is that this pastor was like, you guys like need to change the date, and we were like, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, it got very uncomfortable and very awkward, and we were like, no, we're not going to do that. And like, so everything leading up to our wedding day felt super uncomfortable, like whenever we would like be around him, you know, which was very often, very, very often. So yeah, thankfully we had a very like amazing, to me, like the right amount of time engagement. Like, it wasn't short. It was 5 months. It was perfect. I was very happy with that amount of time. It was just enough time for me to like plan the wedding that I really desired. And so, same with my husband, because we planned it together. My husband now. We planned it together, which I know a lot of couples don't do. But, and I mean like everything we planned together. So, there is one little detail that we didn't plan. I think I will share with you guys in a different video. There's gonna be like a lot of videos, so like you may as well just stay tuned to the channel in these episodes, because like there's a lot of really cool stuff that we speak about over here. And of course, I want to talk about things you want to talk about too. So if there's something that you want to talk about with weddings, or that you want to ask my advice on with weddings, feel free. Especially wedding content creation. Like, ask those questions. Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know what are you curious about in that wedding content creation space. You know, with the whole like taking photos and taking videos for your big day. And for your wedding events too, not just for the wedding day itself. But I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments below. Let me know like how you would have dealt with this. Like, is this like not a big deal? Would you just go on with your life, like nothing really happened, and just kind of like, you know, still be cordial and sweet to that person like you were before? That's what we did. And you know, you're just kind of like matter of fact on that day, like this is what's happening, these are the people we've already asked, Yes, of course they knew those people, because we all were at the same church. So we're all like close as a group, but then like we're closer to them separately, if that makes sense. So yeah, let me know. Or like I said, would you change the date because you didn't want the uncomfortability, and like you want to make everybody happy? Like, are you happy? Are you like a people pleaser? And like, that's okay. Like, I just want to hear like what you would have done in that, because like that was crazy. That was literally crazy. We can still to this day cannot believe that happened to us. Thankfully, we are not there anymore. Like I said, we did move to the other opposite coast, and so we, you know, don't have to deal with that stuff, you know, the drama of that, you know.
The lights, camera, action, baby, strike a pose. Phones and cameras out, just watch it all unfold. We're the stars of the show, ain't no need for filters. Living life through the lens, capturing the thrill. Put away your phones and cameras, let the good times roll. Our content creators got it all
don't you already know? From TikTok to Instagram,